Alright, this is the Mississippi River. Today is September 14, 2017. I'd like to show everybody a little bit of something. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to also do it on Facebook so people can see if I can even get it on here. But I want people to know and see where I came from. And, you know, I love where I'm from. I really do. And what I'm doing is I'm going to also check my WeBoost to make sure my WeBoost can do all this. Okay. I'm going to put on here, before I get started, I got to say whatever. Okay. This is where I come from. Starting from the Mississippi River and going all the way back to the North Bottom Road. You can join me live so I can kind of show you an area that is beautiful, full of farm, full of clay, and just where I come from. Today is September 14th, 2017. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to switch views, and I'm going to push record. Now we are going to go, we're going live right now if it allows me to. Hey everybody, this is Jeffrey Jansen. What I'd like to show everybody right now is where I come from, where my family comes from, where my dad comes from. This is my dad's side of the family. And it's just the area. It's not necessarily what we own or anything like that, because that's not the case. It is just kind of how people relax. You know, the area that the flood of 93 flooded, and then the flood of 2008, the levees that we stacked sandbags up on. And what you're looking at right now, what I'm going to switch around now, is the Mississippi River. And I went all the way to the westernmost tip of the Mississippi River. And if my phone will allow me to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to then go back and I'm going to drive across and go towards the Canton area. And I just want you guys to all see, you know, some of, you know, this is God's country with it. You know, this is just beautiful land back here. And I just want to show you kind of where I come from. I know I do a lot of work a lot of times. I know I do my gardening a lot, but I want people to know about my family and about how great they are. And, you know, everybody in my family is different. They're all great people. They all have something to bring to the table. And this is the area I grew up in. Now, why is this important? Well, we all love where we come from. And when I was in the Marine Corps, these are areas that I used to dream about, because it was like, okay, I want to get back home to this stuff. And everybody's like, why? And where we're at right now is we're actually at the far end of one of the campsites over by the Mississippi River. So what I'll do is I'll turn the camera that way. And then what we're going to do is when we go past the river, you guys can actually see the largest river in the United States. But you can also see why all these houses and everything else, they're not necessarily houses, they're campsites, they're up on stilts. Oops. Everything around here is monitored by video camera and everything, just in case thieves or anybody want to do anything stupid. People don't know that there are cameras and video cameras and everything else out here making sure that if somebody wants to cause harm. But you gotta understand, after the flood of 93, there were vandals and stuff, so they took security measures. But as you can see, it's gorgeous around here, and it's right next to the Mississippi River. But when Mother Nature, she takes back her land, she takes it back. So as you can see, even these houses are lower than the flood of 93 and 2008. There was also the flood of 78, I believe. My family used to market on their houses and everything. And over in the parks, it shows how high each year the river gets, to show that Mother Nature is always going to be in charge. She's always going to be in control. But that's right to my left is the Mississippi River, which you're looking at, along with houses that are up on stilts, and they're built high because these are campsites where people come. They all have video and security, 24-hour video security monitoring that alerts if anything happens. So I don't want to give anybody the wrong idea. People have taken precautions because, like I say, people, they don't always have good intents. But across there, you might see a couple areas that look weird. Those are actually hunters that have their blinds and everything set up for duck hunting, goose hunting. They also make homes and nests for different types of birds, waterfowl, stuff like that. And then you also get like the fishermen and everything that come back here that do a lot of fishing. And where we're moving right now is it's all gravel because it floods all the time. So there's no way of keeping a regular road around here. And the roads will change too according to where the floods are at and everything. And so what we're doing is we're coming out now. We're going to start getting towards the first levee. And this levee that we're getting ready to come up on, I want you to tell you this right now. The men and women, the families, people from the outside, the National Guards, worked night and day, 24/7, building the levee higher than what it was back in '93 and then later 2008. And Mother Nature ended up winning in the end. But if you saw the dedication and hard work that these great men and women of the Indian Grave District, but not just that, there were people coming from all over the Quincy area. If you don't know what the flood is, you need to go look it up. You need to know your history of this area that got flooded and came about. But, you know, there was old schoolhouses down here. There was people's land. And this is the far side, westernmost side of the levee that I'm coming up on. So we're getting ready to go on an incline. And the water was going over it. It was the sandbags that were stacked higher and higher and higher. So we're getting ready to go up the levee that the water then, if you look down certain ways here, let me show you. So this is the top of the levee, right? And I've been in Fishing for Freedom. I've been in everything else too, where the water has been higher than this. And just imagine sandbags as far as the eye can see on both sides, okay? So the reason why is people were trying to save their livelihood, their families. They were trying to, so in other words, sandbags stacked from head to head. And then the Corps of Engineers never did rebuild the levees, but there's actually two separate levees because one of them's over by the ditch. And so I want you to kind of see the area. We're going to head back now towards the bottom road. And all this is farmland, and it's beautiful clay soil. If you know anything about ground, it's probably, I would give this is my opinion, some of the best soil, some of the best ground in all of the United States. It's clay, it holds in the water. You get great crops from it, and so this is kind of what people did. Now, a lot of the trees and the farms, everything was taken out after '93, and then 2008, anybody that was left, it took out. FEMA, this is all FEMA land. They made people get out because they just can't protect you in here. Insurance companies know that no matter what, you're going to flood anyway, so you can't get flood insurance down here unless you're a farmer. But as you can see, it's nothing but cornfields and bean fields for miles. And I just kind of want people to kind of see and understand where I come from, understand where some of the greatest men and women, you know, this is my family, and this is where they lived, and this is where they worked the ground. You know, we're talking about generation after generation. And they're great people, and they still work it too. It's just now it's in different families' hands and everything, but they're still great. So as we're coming down here, we're coming up on Bear Creek, which just past Bear Creek. And then there's two creeks down here, and all the creeks are up high today for some reason. But as you can all see, it's nothing but cornfields. And pretty soon we'll be coming up on a couple farmhouses where I grew up at. And this is also where I take my daughter fishing at. She likes to go fishing and stuff. So everybody's probably looking at me like, what the heck is this guy doing? But it's just to show you that this is my way. Today I've been working since about 4:30 this morning. So I want to take a quick break. And I like to share with my friends and family where I come from. And there's people that live out of town now that haven't been down here in a very long time. So the reason why, another reason why I'm doing this video today is just to show them. Because there's the farmhouses are gone. The barns are gone. There were some really nasty vandals that came down after '93 and burnt down barns and houses because they thought it would be cool. And don't forget about the levee breaking, about the guy that was on the levee that dug holes in the levee, you know, that cost billions of dollars in damage. So, you know, down here, this is just like a farm. I'm going to rotate right to left. I'm driving right now and keeping my eyes on the road. But at one time, before, like, all the situations happened, Oh, that's because that's that top part of my car. There was houses, there was farms, beautiful, beautiful farms down here. If you look straight ahead of us, though, and everybody always wonders what I mean by the bluff, that entire area with all those trees, those beautiful trees, and those beautiful farmhouses up there, that is what we refer to as the bluff. Now, I know you guys are seeing more of a distance than what I am, just because of how the camera angle is, but that is the bluff in Adams County, outside of Quincy, Illinois. And the bluff has homes and stuff in there. There's a bunch of campsites in there, like St. Francis stuff's in there. The Boy Scouts, their stuff is in there. But now everybody lives up on the bluff. And if you ever hear about Tornado Alley, which we are in, by the way, we are in Tornado Alley. This bluff usually deters a lot of those tornadoes, and everybody wonders why we don't flood where we're at. It's because the bluff is like we are higher than the flood stages, and that's where a lot of people keep the silos and everything else. They did run a big gas line through here recently, but my uncle Laverne, he's doing a great job down there, taking care of all the crops and everything else. It's his land now, so. And I love my uncle Laverne, my aunt Jeanette. But over here on the corner is where my dad grew up. The house is gone now because of the flood, but there used to be a white house over here on the corner. And if you go straight back to the right, that's Goose Lake, where everybody knows Goose Lake back here, because that's where a lot of people used to go fishing all the time. And that was the Jansen family, my grandma and grandpa, Mildred and Laverne, or sorry, Mildred. My grandpa Jansen was Leonard Jansen, and my grandma was Mildred Jansen. So this is kind of where I grew up for a long period of time. And I say that because, like I said, I got friends from all the world, the Marine Corps, military, stuff like that. And they always ask me about my family. They ask me about where I come from. And I'm just showing because, like I said, I do so much all the time, and I like to have a variety of things to do. And this is where I come and just drive around the bottoms. I drive around Napide Road to basically relax. Now, coming up here, we're coming up where the ditch is, but then on the other side of the ditch is my Uncle Laverne owns it now, but my Grandma and Grandpa Jansen's house. There used to be a lot more barns, but those stupid vandals, and they were in jail for it. They thought it was funny as kids to come and burn down barns and houses in the bottoms after the floods. You know, people are suffering enough, and you got a bunch of kids that decide, hey, it's more important to go burn them down. So this was the old stomping grounds. It used to be cattle around here and everything else. They have it for beans now, but because it floods all the time. But as you can see, that is my grandma and grandpa. My great-great-grandma and grandpa built that house, and then the barns and everything. I understand this. There's not much out here, and everything still floods down here in the bottoms. So I just wanted everybody to take a look at it and see where I come from. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive over, and I'm going to drive down the bottom road, and as I'm driving down the bottom road, then I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to cross the Mississippi River, so you can actually see when I cross the Mississippi River, and you can see how big the river is and everything. Because a lot of people, they've never even seen the Mississippi River. A lot of people, they're not from this area, and right now with all the flood, with what's going on down in Florida and Texas and everything. By the way, I run this road and I bike ride on this road, and this road down here, this the North Bottoms, it's a pain in the butt because it just goes and goes and goes and goes, and where it ends, nobody knows. But no, it's fun to be down here. There's a lot of cornfields and everything down here, as you can see. Right now that's bean fields, and then it goes the ditch, and then it goes everything else down here. My eyes, I have full sight on the road right now and everything else, and I'm keeping my eyes on the road. That's why I'm not focusing the camera. Here I will one time just so you can see it. Well, you can't because I don't have that on. So whenever I do like motivational videos or whatnot, and whenever I do it and I talk about, you know, to work it, and you got to do different things, it's from experience from my family. It's experience from what I grew up with and from what I've done in my life and what I've learned from other people, and learning to ask questions of everybody, and just learning from experience. And so if I give you an idea where I come from, it may give you an idea that there's more to me than just the stuff I do. I believe in people because I come from people, a humble background, of people that work the land, of people that work the factories, of people that dealt with loss, whether it's cancer, with family loss, or land loss, or animals, or whatnot. We all have a story. And I truly believe with today's technology, we all need to tell these stories, because every day in life, I believe that life and where life is taking us to is getting better every day. I don't believe that, we're falling backward on things. I believe we're getting better every single day in life on the things that we do. So not only are, everybody's like, well, my generation is the greatest generation. No, your generation is not the greatest generation. Your generation is a great generation. But every generation after that is greatest, because, we're overcoming difficulties. We're overcoming tests. I mean, just to give you an idea of something simple that I watched yesterday. We used to do twine, barbed wire, metal, and you have to do it by hand. Now we can actually post the stuff out by machines. Have you ever seen how ice cream is made and how inks are made? They used to have, it took us 100 years just to be able to have paint. Now, why is that important? People are like, why? You're boring. Why do I know about paint? Because what we have today, we take for granted of where it came from. And when we sit there and say that life and society today, oh, it's just hard. No, it's not. Everything today is easier in life. Everything today, we might not be able to take on Mother Nature, but we sure as heck have developed things that make our lives easier, more adaptable, and we're still learning. Like, God, we are so young as a culture. We're so young as human beings that we forget that the earth is over 6 billion years old, and we're not even a scratch upon the scratch of the scratch in the history of the universe, the history of our planet. Yet we get mad when we don't want to go. We expect everybody else to do stuff for us. There's Bob Banger Park. And Bob Banger Park is where I used to play soccer all the time. Or you talk about Bug City. Even during when we played soccer, everybody down there knows Bob Banger Park. And, the bugs, the mosquitoes, the fun, the rain. It's the mud. Man, I know people like soccer nowadays and everything else and football. When you played soccer in Quincy down at the bottoms and it were to rain on Bob Banger Field, man, you could go home just caked in mud from head to toe. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Now what we're coming up on is the marina, Quincy Marina. I won't drive in it right now because I'm going over to get on the bridge to cross the Mississippi River, because I'm heading over to Canton right now. But okay, this guy is actually going slow in the bottoms. It's actually a faster speed limit than what it is. All this was underwater at one time. And a lot of you have seen me talk from down here, because this is where I do my reading at. This is where I read motivational books, which I am going to do today, because I got to do about 4 more things, and I'll get over to the motivational books. And then where I'm going right now is I'm taking a left up into, we're going to go, there's a bunch of parks, but we're not going to the parks. I'm going up to the highway right now, so I can cross the bridge. It's a one-way, so if I go up any farther, I have to turn around, go back to go down. It's because of the one-way. And so what we're doing, there's a bunch of parks and everything in here, as you can see, both sides. Quincy, Illinois has some of the most beautiful parks, and they keep it clean. As you can see, we have guys out cutting grass still, and this is September 14th. So we got guys out here cutting grass. Let's wave at them, everybody. Thank you for cutting the grass, guys. Making it all look nice and pretty, beautiful. And they do, the Quincy Park District does take excellent care of our parks, and they do an outstanding job. And we are known for our park system around here. We have a lot of parks in Quincy. Now this is the highway, so I gotta be careful. So I've actually caught people going down the opposite way down the highway, and it's like, this is a anyway. So where we're going right now is we're going to go across the Mississippi. Hey, Glenn, what's going on, buddy? My buddy Glenn's on. Hey, Nikki, Jay. And everybody's probably like, what the heck is he doing right now? I'm actually giving a tour of my hometown. And if y'all ever want to know a really nice guy, Glenn Chandler. Beautiful wife, Teresa Chandler. Beautiful kids. Good guy. He'll join the reserves and you'll have him. Don't worry, he don't yell too loud. He is in the Army. I'm going to talk about him a little bit now because he didn't answer the phone the last 2 days. I called him to tell him to come get tomatoes. And he's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, that's right, Glenn. You heard me. By the way, we just went by your mom and dad's house, Glenn, down in the bottoms. That one's not on live, so. But anyway, we're around Quincy right now. This is the one way, as you can see. But we're getting ready to cross the bridge now. We're coming up on the bridge. And we're going to follow the truck to the bridge. We've got a big truck in front of us. And this is the Bayview. Yeah, this is the Bayview. The Memorial Bridge is the blue one. This is the Bayview, which, by the way, is lit up at night. I'm sure everybody's looking at me like, what the heck is he doing? This is my way of taking a break today without eating too much lunch because I just don't feel like eating today. I mean, I want to eat, but just not. Okay, so we're getting ready to cross the bridge right now. Aquatech Marine Sales Department. They're a great company. I know the people in there. They're really nice people. They do stuff for Fishing for Freedom and everything also. Of course, I can't figure out over here to the right side why on earth they have huge doorways. Air camp. I guess it's maybe for air. I don't know. So anyway, we're waiting to cross the bridge right now. Sure my turn signal stays on. Glenn, you gonna be home for a little bit? Because once I do, I need to give you a call. So anyway, that's where Grandma used to rock on the roof in front of us. Used to be a furniture store. So now I'm just waiting on this truck to go. We got the green light. Okay, we are now crossing the Mississippi River, everybody. So, welcome for everybody that lives in other countries, everybody lives in other states, that has never been out of your state. Let me officially welcome you to Illinois, and now we're leaving Illinois, going into the Mississippi River. And I agree with this guy here. We have got to pass, because this guy, his transmission must be going out on him. This right here is the Mississippi River, and the Bayview Bridge is on the other side. And then I'm going to keep it to the right so you guys can actually see the river as we go around. That's Quinsippy Island down there. So, as you can see, take your right, take your left. Oh, there you go. There you go. So this is the Mississippi River. That's the other side. Welcome to the Mississippi River, everybody. We are now crossing the Mississippi River. And this is my way of taking a break for today. So, and now we will be in Missouri. We border Missouri, and then Iowa's just right up the road also. So, anyway, I hope everybody has a great day. We are now getting off the river to where there's cheaper gas. Gas is always cheaper in Missouri, because let's face it, Illinois is expensive. As much as I love Illinois, gas is expensive in Illinois compared to what it is in Missouri. So we are coming off the bridge right now. Just like I promised everybody I'd take you to. We have now crossed the bridge. As you can see, gas over here is $2.39 for unleaded, $2.49 for diesel. And we're going to head over to Canton. So, anyway, I hope everybody has a great day today. We've got a new cigarette shop over in Missouri now. So, anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video today. I'll be back on the way back to do do some more stuff, which will not be this today. This was just my way of taking a break, coming over to Missouri. We used to even have an outdoor theater over here. So, anyway, we will talk to everybody soon. I hope everybody has a great day. Bye now.